Hello, Internet! It's Sean of the PSI crew, back again with a new video. This is going to be a little different than what I usually post. This is going to be a little bit more lighthearted, different than our podcasts and other stuff we put on here. Had a lot of time to watch some TV recently, and I thought, I want to do a tier list of different paranormal reality TV shows I've watched over the years. And just kind of give my opinion on it, and hopefully you guys would go check it out since we have a lot of time to kind of just sit on our butts and watch TV for a while. I know the world's a pretty screwed up place right now. I mean, more so than usual. So I thought this would be a good idea. So, on with the video. Okay, so these are 19 shows that I've seen personally. And the ranking is basically A through E. A obviously being the best show to watch, and E is just absolutely garbage. That insults me. But figure start with something easy, nice little softball first. I'll go with Beyond Belief, Fact or Fiction. Now this show I actually watched when I was a kid. This was on I believe Fox. Going by my East Coast memory. I believe this was on Fox. Friday nights. I'm gonna say Friday nights. Maybe Friday or Saturdays. Maybe sometimes Saturdays. And what they did was they had 4 stories throughout the show, and not all of them were real, and not all of them were fake. It was basically, the host Jonathan Frakes of Star Trek Next Generation. He would, introduce you to the story and narrate it, and then at the end of the episode, you'd have to guess, which stories were true and which were false, which was pretty fun because you could almost tell which ones were fake, like the most elaborate ones were probably like that. And I guess I didn't see the first season. From what I understand, there was a different host during the first season, and then Jonathan Frakes took over for the next 3. So I mean, I have pretty good memories of that show. So I'm gonna put that. Had some fun with it, so I'm gonna put that in the B tier. That's a pretty good show. Pretty good shoe. Pretty good shoe. Pretty good shoe. Pretty good shoe. I don't know. B. Yeah. I'll keep it at B because sometimes the stories that they did make up were kind of fucking stupid. Okay, so the next one is actually going to be a blast from the past. This one's pretty cool. This is Fear. MTV's Fear, to be exact. Back in the 90s, MTV tried doing one of these paranormal shows, which, if I really think about it, it was, besides, Beyond Belief and a few others, they were really one of the first ones to really try the kind of first person, let's walk around like some kind of dank castle and stuff and see if anything spooky happens. Because they would take a group of four people, and they would strap them, with cameras to the chest, and they would put them in what they would say real haunted locations. I'm pretty sure a few that they did put them in. They did put them in the asylum in Kentucky, and one of them in Pennsylvania. I don't know why the names are just escaping me right now, but overall it was a good show. It was a whole hour, and they would just walk around. You really couldn't see anything. They had cameras set up in the places so you could kind of see them walk around, but then all you had was that GoPro, or the grandfather of all GoPro cameras, would be like this, facing them in the face. So when you would get their see what the camera sees, we were like, ah! What's going on? Ah! That'd be mostly it. I don't ever remember them catching anything paranormal. Just more of personal experiences for them, especially when it came to bats and things like that. So that was a fun show. You can't not talk about the theme song for this fucking show. It was Godsmack's Voodoo. That's your TV show has Godsmack for a theme song. I think that just boosted it up. I was gonna say C or B, but I'm gonna give this give this another B. I was gonna say C, but then I remember Godsmack, and it's like, come on, that's just up there, dude. You just gotta do it. Okay, so this next show, I'm gonna throw a little bit of a curveball. I started watching this on Netflix about a year or two ago, and it was pretty cool. I have yet to check my Netflix again to see if there's any new seasons because I am extremely lazy. It's called Dark Tourist. It's a show about a dude. I believe his name is Jack Fuller. Fuller. I'm probably butchering his name, so whatever. It's kind of like an Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates type of show. This dude basically just goes all over the country, trying to find tourist traps for people, but not in the traditional sense, but the really dark and macabre ones at least. Um, I know there was one episode where he went to some kind of country in the middle of nowhere, and it was like North Korea on steroids, and it was really effing creepy because they were finding bugging equipment in their mirrors, things like that. And I think the last one I saw, the dude went somewhere in America where they have a Jeffrey Dahmer Appreciation Day. Think about that for a minute. There's there's a thing where people get together and they celebrate the amazing Jeffrey Dahmer together. And he did a whole episode on it. Now for the host himself, um, I don't know. He kind of comes off as a drinking a little too much soy there. But as for the show itself, even though it's not very paranormal most of the time, he does go to a lot of interesting places like around the country, Africa, India, and just like lost places that a lot of people just don't talk about. And I actually I find that very more interesting than just going, hey, we're gonna go check out this city because they say, oh, hey, there's a chupacabra here or some kind of ghost, or it's just like more rich. There's more rich history to it, is what I'm trying to say, but I can't say it because I have this thing when I try to talk, it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm gonna give Dark Tourist, despite the host, I'm gonna give this. I'm just not very cheerful in giving things A's. But I think I'm going to give Dark Tourist on Netflix an A. That's going to be the first A of the day. First A of the day. Okay, next up, now, since this is still fresh in my mind, Expedition Unknown with Josh Gates. Now, you know what? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good segue into that. Man, I'm so weird. Um, if Dark Tourist had the kind of host that Expedition Unknown does, there wouldn't be an A ranking. There would be an S ranking. I'd make an S rank for the show. Josh Gates is just an amazing host. When he's on camera, obviously, he's intuitive. He's funny. Well, not that funny. I think I'm a lot funnier than that dude. But he asks questions that a lot of people don't feel comfortable asking. Certain natives and locals of different countries, and for the most part, a lot of hosts really don't do things the way he does things. Like this dude will get in a hole that no one has been in for about 50 years and climb down to the very bottom and look for snakes or something. So it's like he's got the credits. And he's done multiple paranormal shows too. I think he's done a crossover episode with Ghost Hunters International, and he tried doing his own segmented paranormal type one where they went to like a lot of the jungles and stuff looking for ghosts. But then it just kind of branched off into more Expedition Unknown, more lost cities and things like that. Last time I remember, he was on the Travel Channel. And I'm not sure if he's still on the Travel Channel or not. But I heard he's supposed. Well, Expedition Unknown is supposed to be getting a new. Supposed to getting a excuse me. Expedition Unknown is supposed to be getting a new host. Dude's name just completely like escapes me, but I know he was on Step Brothers as like the one guy who was just like, dude, I just want to punch you in the face right now. References. It's all I'm good for. When I don't know something, I talk about a movie. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to put Expedition Unknown Josh Gates. That's going up to A, and I'm going to bump that right out of the way there. All right. Perfect. Hey, that, it's looking pretty good. 4 shows down. Yeah, looking pretty good. Okay. What else we got here? Oh, the Ghost Brothers. Oh, the Ghost Brothers. Oh, the Ghost Brothers. Now, I haven't watched the entire season of Ghost Brothers. I've watched about 8 episodes. And, I like watching it. It's a very fun show to watch. And my cat is going to get into screen here. That's great. Thank you, Cinnamon, for wanting to join the party. How, would you like to review these shows too with me? Right now we're talking about Ghost Brothers. Do you like the Ghost Brothers? Oh, she does. She does not like the Ghost Brothers. Okay. I kind of feel for her there. But yeah, it's a fun show to watch because I don't know their names. Okay. But together they're fun to watch because they'll just do shit. They are generally fun to watch. But after watching the show, it comes off to me as you could put these guys in any TV show or reality show, and they'll do their thing and they'll make it good. So to me, it's like, are they really wanting to be out there doing paranormal investigations or hunting ghosts? I think it was more like, hey, what was I don't want to say the Travel Channel. I want to say this is an A&E property. I don't remember. Don't castrate me for it. But basically, I think they just had these guys and they're like, all right, we want to put you guys in a show. What can we put you in? You want to go on a boat? You want to live in a rich mansion? Do you want to be singers? And they're like, people love ghosts. Ghosts is the hot show right now. And they're like, let's do it. Let's put them into a ghost show. So with that, as entertaining as it is, I'm definitely going to give the Ghost Brothers about a D. Because, sorry guys, I like watching your chemistry together, but I just don't believe you're out there doing what you're doing for it. I mean, sure, you could say that for about any paranormal TV show, but mostly this, it's just like, you can stick those dudes anywhere else, and they'll do just fine. Okay, next up. Paranormal Witness. Paranormal Witness. This is a great show. Paranormal Witness was on. I don't know if it's still airing or not, but you can definitely find it. You can find it on Hulu and Netflix. Paranormal Witness is basically a recount of different people's experiences with the paranormal. Pretty average, but it's got that unsolved mystery twist where it's like, you'll see that person on TV and they're talking about their experience, and then they make a whole reenactment episode of what they've seen, and the people don't look like anything they're supposed to, and the effects on the show are fucking fantastic. I love them. It's literally like watching a movie, even though these people are trying to explain their paranormal experiences. Which, for the most part, they're just being interviewed, so you don't know what's what. But when you're watching the actual reenactment, if that's what they want to call it, it is great. I don't know who they have working on that show for the computer graphics, but it is awesome. I love it. I mean, I don't get disappointed in it. A good example would be there was an episode where a family moves into a farmhouse or something like that in the woods, and come to find out that on the property they keep finding satanic rituals, burned items, stones in the backyard, all mixed together. So it's like, and weird stuff happening in the house. So near the end of the episode, all throughout the episode, they talk about things moving, and they get, they do the whispering and things like that. But near the end of the episode, spoiler warning, but still, it's a great spoiler warning. Near the end of the episode, you have to go outside of the house to get into the basement. So it's the wife and I guess the grandmother or the daughter. These two women they're outside in the yard, and they go over to the basement door. And when they open the basement door, it's just like, oh, and they just open the door like that, and all of a sudden, there's a burst of flames coming through the door, and the fucking devil's like, and they are like fucking screaming, and there's you just get this. This is like, it's like, and then boom, it's done. Like nothing ever happened. It's like, that escalated so fast for no reason. And it fucking kills me every time I think about it. Like, I wasn't even expecting it. I was just sitting there like, holy shit! What the hell just happened? Yeah. Okay. So, I'm actually, alright, so, questionable with the stories that people have, because I'm pretty sure anybody can come off the street and make a couple of bucks and to talk about a story. But the way they reenact it, and they really go for that creepy factor. I'm definitely going to give Paranormal Witness an A. Yeah, if you haven't seen any of these episodes, watch it. I don't know the name of the episode with Farmhouse and the satanic stuff. That's the one you have to see. There's also another one that, let's see, there was a woman living in California in the 80s, like a little ranch style house, and she always had noises and stuff happen. And there was something in the attic of the house, a ghost or something, and they had the paranormal investigators go in, and they would go into the attic, and every time somebody went into the attic, shit happened. Like the guys were getting thrown across the room or something like that. And it was pretty neat. It was pretty spooky. But it's like, when it happened, they like ran out of the attic, like they jumped down from the little crawl space, and as they did, the camera pans up to the little door or the little hole in the ceiling where the attic is, and you just see this white fucking old man face. Like, I'm getting goosebumps just talking about it, because it looked so goddamn freaky when they did that. I was like, why am I watching this at 3 o'clock in the morning? It was pretty good. But I did actually research that story, and I guess it did happen to the lady, but I can't find any actual pictures of anything else from it. But man, that fucking thing with the face was awesome. Okay, I think we had enough fun stuff to happen. So let's get down some more of the nitty gritty here. Most Haunted. Most Haunted is a BBC paranormal reality TV show. I forget the name of the lady that hosted it, because I haven't watched this in over a couple of years. I mean, what's this? It's 2020. When was like the last episode I actually watched? Probably 2010, 2011, and they basically had the same idea. They go to a haunted place, they shut off the lights, and they wander around in the dark like idiots. And the lady, she's supposed to be a psychic, so she picks up on things, or she's the host, and she's paired off with a psychic, this like big British dude, and he gets possessed all the time. It's like, you can almost make a drinking game out of it, how fast he gets possessed, and he'll just stand there and start going, "Argh!" And I've talked about this in a couple of our podcasts. I've severely made fun of them in a lot of our podcasts, because it's just funny, but more of a sad funny, because it's like they're they're really trying to invest and show you that they are very scared of what's happening, but nothing happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and give that show. Man, you know what? I'm gonna move the Ghost Brothers up to C tier because I'd rather watch the Ghost Brothers more than I would want to watch Most Haunted. In all seriousness, so Most Haunted gets a nice good old day. They get a D from the Ghost Brothers. I didn't say that out loud, did I? So, okay, the next show I want to talk about is A Haunting. That was basically Paranormal Witness before Paranormal Witness. I'm pretty sure you can watch. Pretty sure their shows go back to at least 2007. I want to say they were on the Travel Channel, or not. There was another channel that they were on before that. I think it was like Discovery or something before they started buying out stuff. But it was basically the same thing as Paranormal Witness. There's a couple of good ones, and the reenactments. Not all of them, but some of the reenactments were actually pretty good, and they really tried to scare the shit out of you. So I want to give I mean, if I gave Paranormal Witness an A, actually, I mean, I just have more fonder memories of watching A Haunting, especially being in a hospital and stuff. So I'm gonna give A Haunting an A tier. Also, A Haunting in Connecticut actually premiered on that show too, and then that got up to making that movie. If I remember that right. Okay, next up. Celebrity Ghost Stories. Celebrity Ghost Stories was a spin-off of Ghost Stories, which basically, like Paranormal Witness and A Haunting, people would just tell their stories. Celebrity Ghost Stories basically had celebrities. And for the most part, it was okay. I mean, they told their stories, and, they did the reenactments as best as they could. It definitely wasn't impressive as A Haunting or Paranormal Witness. And a couple of them I really like. I mean, some of the celebrities that they had were just straight out actors who are good at acting. So it's like you're listening to their story and you're really wondering, okay, how much of that is that real and how much is that just being pulled out of your ass? So I'm gonna give Celebrity Ghost Stories. Oh, I'm gonna give. Yeah, I mean, I really wasn't thrilled about it watching it. It was more like a chore, I guess. So I'm gonna give it a D. Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, let's see. What else can we throw on here? Unsolved Mysteries. Robert Stack. I don't even have to explain it. That just gets an automatic A tier. And it's been rebooted once. And from what I understand, either this year, well, I don't know because of this year, but next year they're supposed to be rebooting it again for I believe Netflix. So hopefully that'll do a little bit better. Okay, so that was a quick one. Okay, get another curveball here. How about UFO Hunters? UFO Hunters was a spinoff of Ghost Hunters on Sci-Fi after they kind of wound down, and basically just dudes from MUFON and stuff like that. Somebody saw a UFO, they go out and find it. I mean, if you're gonna make a show like UFO Hunters, there's a big difference between that and ghosts, and I don't know, legendary creatures or cities or things like that. I mean, with that stuff, it's not so much as it's going to be there when you're looking for it. It's more of there's more lore and possibly evidence left over. But mostly with hunting UFOs, I mean, by the time they get there, they're either days or months or years from when things happened. And all they have to go on is usually grainy video or pictures. I mean, it's not, I mean, they're trying. But it's more like, you just can't show, I mean, okay, a better example would be, okay, so if somebody's house is haunted, you as a paranormal investigator, you go there, you have history, you have evidence collected up. You can still explore the haunted house and still try to assess your own situation. UFOs, somebody saw something in the sky in the 80s, you go back to that same exact location and you're looking at the sky, it's pretty much all you can do. Unless there's just mounds of actual physical evidence. Newspaper clippings, videos, things like that. Other than that, I mean, the guys were pretty much batting 1,000 with like every case they had. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this about a D as well. It's like I wanted to get invested in it, but then I just couldn't. And there's probably other better UFO shows out there I just haven't found yet. And while we're on the topic, talk about my homeboys back in Rhodey, the ghost hunters themselves. And this is, I'm just gonna lump everything together: Ghost Hunters International, the new Ghost Hunters, the one that got on A&E or whatever now. All the Ghost Hunters together. As the whole itself, I believe it's a very bland show, just like UFO Hunters. Straight out. I mean, they'd find evidence here and there. Sometimes the evidence wouldn't match up. They'd have personal experiences. You can't really share personal experiences, even though they have cameras following them everywhere, like they say they do. Or they don't, or they try to say, it's just them in a room. It's them in a room with a camera guy behind them. And I love the dudes. I mean, but yeah, it's really bland when you really strip everything down. But at the same time, when this show came out, I believe that catapulted paranormal TV to a new level. Back in the day when I wouldn't go around telling people my interests. Screw everybody, right? But it'd be more of, they're like, well, you have any interests? I'm like, yeah, I studied the paranormal, stuff like that. And they're like, oh, okay. That dude's weird. But then, a couple of seasons of Ghost Hunters come out, you start see people walking around town with the t-shirts on and stuff. And, you start talking to different people and they're like, oh, so what do you do? And I'm like, I study the paranormal. And they're like, just like Ghost Hunters? And I'm like, yes! Just like them! Or it did try to bring the paranormal into the forefront of pop culture, which was really neat. So with that, it's like I can't be too hard on them. So I'm gonna have to just give their entire series to give it a B. I think if it wasn't for that, it'd be at least a D or a C for that show, definitely. Now, it's just kind of sad that even though UFO Hunters spun off from Ghost Hunters, that they couldn't catch the kind of fire that Ghost Hunters had. I mean, we are living in the year 2020. A lot of people are more open-minded about the paranormal and ghosts. You would figure people would be more open-minded with UFOs. I mean, just saying. But that train sailed. So that's what trains do. They sail away. Anyway. Okay, let's get really depressed here. Mountain Monsters. Destination America. TV show. About a bunch of boys from West Virginia. They go around looking for monsters. One of them was Hogzilla, which turned out just to be an actual pig. Not anything special. In our state of Ohio. Then they're driving along in Pennsylvania in a golf cart in the middle of the woods looking for Bigfoot, and a big old scary stuffed animal arm comes out from behind them while they're driving and grabs everybody. Do you get where I'm going with this? Fuck this show and everything with it. Even if they're trying to be entertaining, it's not working. It's just terrible. It goes right there in the trash. If there was a tier lower than E, I would make this Z. Trash. Sorry. I hate this show. I hate everything about it. I hate everybody involved in this show. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're really nice guys. I mean, they are from they're from West Virginia. I'm pretty sure they're pretty nice dudes. I mean, if it wasn't for the TV show, John Trapper, the leader, I would definitely have a beer with him. He seems like a cool guy. That's just somehow got roped into this TV show. But yeah, the TV show's just fucking terrible. Don't watch it! Or if you want a good laugh, I guess. Because that Bigfoot arm, that was just some dude in a fucking gorilla suit. I'm sorry. And I guess you could play a drinking game with that show too. I don't remember the dude's name, but he's like the biggest guy there. Every episode he falls over, so every time he falls over, take a shot. Try not to kill yourself. Okay, next up. Let's keep the ball rolling. Paranormal State. What can I say about this show that hasn't been already said? It's about a team of paranormal investigators from Penn State College. They go around helping people with their paranormal problems and documenting evidence. Great idea. Great show. As a show, it's great. But the dude behind the entire show, I can't even remember his name now. I just know that face. And you know what? I don't give a flying fuck about his name because he's a piece of shit. And he's in jail. So fuck him. Paranormal State, E. Not going to sugarcoat it. I mean, the show itself was okay, but just being associated with that dude and the money he stole from people, and sorry, that's just a bad taste you're never going to get out of your mouth. Show, E. Next up, Psychic Kids with Chip Coffey. Oh, Chip Coffey. He's another one I like to talk about on the podcast, too. I seem to have this fixation with talking shit about people. I need to stop doing this. But anyway, Chip Coffey was actually part of the Paranormal State TV show as well. He's a renowned psychic, and he started his own spinoff show probably when Paranormal State started sinking. And basically, what he did was he invested in children who had psychic abilities, and he would take them to haunted houses or things like that to hone their abilities. That way, they could watch out for the darkness and all that negative energy. That's my Chip Coffey, everybody. It's funny. It's funny! But I don't believe Chip Coffey is a psychic. If I believe Chip Coffey is an actual psychic, then I believe the psychic Sylvia Browne was the next pope. Not gonna happen. And I actually found the show kind of disturbing in a way. Because an unwritten rule mostly for paranormal investigators is not to get kids involved. I mean, some hauntings happen to children, and mostly it's because they are very young and very susceptible to the things. So it's like, when you hear a house is haunted and there's kids involved, there's almost like an extended level of urgency to help people out. Or there's paranormal investigators that bring their kids along. And it's like, I can't condone that. That's just terrible. It's like, what if something were to happen to your child? And so basically with Chip Coffey, he's taking these kids with these abilities that they're supposed to have, that they're not even good with, and test them out on scary places. Probably fucking them up for life on top of that. And some of them probably not even understanding what they're doing. So that's going to be another E for me. Destination Fear is a new show I just found out about. I believe it's on Netflix. I can't remember. It might be on Destination America as well. It's about these three people. One of them knows the guys from Ghost Adventures, or their father knows them from Ghost Adventures. And what they do is they just basically go around the country and they try to sleep a night in a haunted location and try to see if anything creepy happens. I really don't have any problem with the show. I think it's okay for like what it is. The last one I saw of them, they were in a penitentiary, I believe in Virginia or Kentucky, and they stayed the night there. And what they did was they separated themselves on a different floor of the of this abandoned penitentiary, and one of them had a ghost box with them, which was, I believe, the female. She had the ghost box with her, and she was sleeping in one of the jail cells. And as she's lying down, she keeps the ghost box on. And what the ghost box does is it has a random word generator inside of it. And what's supposed to happen is the ghost is supposed to use the energy of the box and say a word. And it's completely random. So all of a sudden, the ghost box keeps going off saying, "Good night, give me a kiss, tuck in, good night." And she just starts getting freaked out about it. So, I mean, that was pretty good. So, I'll probably give Destination Fear. I give them yeah. I mean, not much happens in it besides them trying to sleep at night, and then they try to get personal with their little filmmaking. So, I give them a C. It's okay, nothing special. Next up is The Dead Files. Dead Files has been going on for a couple of years. It's a pretty cool show. It's about a retired lieutenant from New York and a psychic. They go to houses and they fight the ghosts. The lieutenant at the beginning will go in first and conduct his own investigation of the property and with everyone there. And then later that night, that's when Amy, the psychic, comes in and she tries to figure out what's going on in the house. I really like it because it attacks the Paranormal Reality TV show at two separate angles. You have your skeptic angle with the lieutenant, and then you have the psychic, which would represent the believer. And they both assist they don't assist each other right off the bat. They both collect their own evidence, and then at the end they sit down. And usually a lot of the stuff that they find on their own, it collaborates together for the bigger picture. And it's not in your face like a lot of these other paranormal shows like Ghost Adventures or things like that. It's like, she's walking around the house and just explaining things. I don't think I've ever seen an episode of Dead Files where they showed something happen. Like literally, like it's almost, I swear it's like she's actually showing a real paranormal investigation to where you're filming all this stuff and nothing fucking happens whatsoever. No matter what. Nothing happens. And it's true, nothing happens. So, I'm going to give them an A. Because it's just a good show. She can get kind of repetitive a couple of times. Especially when she talks about shadow people. A shadow person or shadow people are just like another grade of paranormal phenomenon. I don't believe they're anything too special. More or less just shadow people. They can't do nothing. But she really believes that they're all evil and stuff, and the majority of the things she finds are always supposed to be evil. So that kind of, I don't know. Do I want to put a grade down for that? I mean, it's not like I met the lieutenant personally and took my picture with him or anything, but it was that for an A. And then we'll go straight to Ghost Adventures. Zach. Another person I've talked shit about on my podcast. Alright, I'm going to say from the start, the first couple of seasons of Ghost Adventures, I was heavily invested in this show. I loved every episode I watched. I really did. I was a fan of Ghost Adventures. Especially their 24-hour lockdown Halloween specials that they did. I loved it. I was watching this shit every Friday night when it came on. But then, some of the episodes started to get stale, and you just kind of notice things here and there. Zach really changed in between seasons. He got more Chad, but the more Chad he got, the more soy he got. I don't know. It's really hard to explain. And it's like, dude, just tone your shit down and get your shit done. But I mean, there's been a lot of controversies in this show. Probably a lot of the paranormal shows. In the beginning of the show, the beginning seasons, they really had a dream to go out there and look for ghosts. But, the network would pressure them that if they didn't find anything, they'd have to fucking make something up or they cancel their show. I mean, that's pretty stressful. So I'll give them that. But as of later seasons, not Aaron, but they did fire another one of their regulars, and I think he has a new TV show now called Ghost Lab. I have not seen that whatsoever. I don't think I will. But these later seasons, just it's just really gone downhill. And now with Zach's Las Vegas adventure house collecting weird paranormal shit and stuff. I don't know. And I mean, it can still be entertaining to watch as long as you're not going into it fully invested. So, yeah, this is a hard one. I really thought I was just going to give it a low grade, honestly, but then when you really start to think about it, well, I'm just gonna give Ghost Adventures a C tier. It's one of those fun to watch. Don't get too highly invested in it, but sometimes they go to some interesting places, and after you watch it, look it up, go there yourself. Pretty cool. And last but not least, America's Monsters and Mysteries. This was the lead in here. Destination Unknown episode. Basically, they go across the country, tell different stories here and there. Bigfoot in Florida, UFOs in Nevada, ghosts, Salem, Massachusetts. Basically anything. I mean, it's more of a show to watch around Halloween time when you got really like nothing to do and you just want to kind of veg out and watch something. This is terrible for the last one. I mean, it's okay to watch. I got no problem with it. So I'm gonna give this little fella. I'm gonna give it a C tier. It's right in the middle of the road. I mean, it's not bad. It's not good. It's more of almost like a refresher course. Like if you're really into the paranormal and you don't know what you want to do, just kind of watch that show and see what where all these places are going or where other people are. So I mean, it's more middle of the road type. It's not bad. It's not good. I think of it as more of a refresher course. Say if you're really into paranormal investigations, you're really into ghost hunting, or anything like that. Watch it, and it gives you some pretty good ideas of where to go and what to do. So that's basically it. That's my tier list. It was pretty painful to sit through with my mouth flapping, but yeah, I think in my own personal opinion, this from the paranormal shows that I've seen that this is pretty on there. It's almost even straight through with the BDEs, but definitely a Dark Tourist, anything with Josh Gates, Paranormal Witness, A Haunting, anything with Unsolved Mysteries or Dead Files. Give those shows a friggin' watch. And I say the same thing with Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction. I believe there was another Beyond Belief Fact or Fiction TV show too. I just can't remember. It was probably the same name, but with like a different host. And I don't know if you guys can watch Fear. I don't know if it's on YouTube or maybe Hulu, like repeats. But if I could find a streaming service that would show these repeats, I would love to watch that whole show again. And that's it. So